Are you sure you've been seeing your dog the right way all along? Because everything you think you know about your dog's vision is wrong. And today I'm going to show you exactly what colors dogs can and cannot see. I have always loved the idea of getting a rainbow umbrella to match my dog's colorful raincoat. But now, after finding out how her eyes work, I'm not so sure it was the best choice. So stick around, because by the end of this video, I'm going to make sure you understand exactly what color scheme you should use when decorating your home for your four-legged family member. What colors can dogs see? Well, let's find out. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a veterinarian. This platform is all about helping you have the best and most fun relationship with your dog through understanding. So if you love your dog, hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into it. Let's start off by looking at how our eyes work. We have these things called cone cells in our retinas, which detect light waves and send signals to our brains. And based on the wavelength of the light coming in, we see different colors. Humans have 3 different types of cones that are sensitive to red, green, and blue light. This is why we call the colors red, green, and blue primary colors, because we can't mix and match them to make any other colors. We call these colors RGB. But it's a little bit different for dogs. Dogs only have 2 types of cones, one that's sensitive to blue and one that's sensitive to yellow. And this is why, if you look at this image here, the only colors that you see are shades of blue and yellow. So the next time you're looking at your dog, try to imagine that all the colors you see are actually shades of blue and yellow. It's pretty weird when you think about it, but it helps us to understand how our dogs see the world. So the question becomes, how do humans see? Well, let's take this red ball here. Humans can see the red color of this ball because our red cones are being triggered, but the only colors that dogs can see are blue and yellow. So what color will the ball appear to dogs? Well, since red and yellow are both warm colors, it makes sense that the ball would appear to be some sort of warm color to a dog. And when you think about it, red looks kind of brownish to dogs, so the ball would appear to be some shade of brown to a dog. And when we compare this to our other primary color, green, we can see that it makes sense that green would appear gray to a dog because it's the absence of red, green, and blue light. So when you look at something that's gray, there's no stimulation of your cone cells, which means it appears flat and gray to you. If you want to see what other colors look like to dogs, check out the link in the description below. It's an interactive site where you can change the color settings to see what the world would look like to a dog. All right, so let's say you just got a new puppy and they have this big box of toys and you want to get them a couple to play with. So which ones should you pick? Well, remember that dogs can only see yellow and blue, so you're going to want to avoid getting them any toys that are red or green because they won't be able to see the color. And if you already have a dog, chances are you might have a toy laying around that you bought because you thought it looked so cute, but your dog has never shown any interest in it. And now you know why. You'll also want to avoid getting them any toys that are shades of purple, because purple is made by combining blue and red, which is outside of the dog color spectrum. In fact, we can take this one step further and figure out how other colors look to dogs. Remember, red looks brownish to dogs, so orange and yellow toys will look really bright and vibrant to them. So picking out a toy that's orange or yellow will help to stimulate your dog mentally because it's such a bright and happy color to them. But then we have green, which is the absence of red, blue, and yellow. So it makes sense that green would look gray to dogs and they wouldn't be too interested in playing with those types of toys. And finally, any toys that are shades of purple will also appear dark and dull to dogs since they can't see either of the colors that make it up. Well, that's great for me, because now I can go out and buy my dog a nice new toy that she will actually use. And I can choose a nice calming color like blue or yellow. And even better, because I can now see my dog's world, I can redecorate my house in colors that will be stimulating and fun for her. It turns out that many of us have homes decorated with colors that are completely unappealing to our dogs. For example, we love the color red because it increases our heart rate and energy levels. But this can be very overwhelming to our dogs, especially if they suffer from anxiety. And since we can't see any shades of red, orange, or green, we don't realize how bright and vibrant these colors are to our furry friends. So before you run out and repaint your house, there are other things that you need to know about your dog's vision. First off, dogs can't see as well as we can. Their vision is roughly equivalent to 20/75 human vision, so we can see things that are much more detailed than dogs can. Secondly, dogs see much less contrast in the world, and this is because they have fewer rod cells in their retinas. Rod cells help us to see shapes and movement in our peripheral vision, and they are responsible for black and white vision. But unlike humans, dogs don't see the world in black and white. They actually see it in shades of gray. And thirdly, dogs are much more sensitive to certain lighting conditions. While they can see in low light conditions better than we can, they have a harder time seeing in bright sunlight. And this is because they have fewer cones than we do. Finally, did you know that some LED lights flicker at a rate that's too fast for us to see, but dogs can definitely see it? And this is why they might be afraid of you turning the lights on or off. In fact, some dogs experience photophobia, which is a fear of bright lights. The last thing I want to talk about today are some fun facts about dogs and their eyes. Firstly, dogs have colored eyes just like humans. However, their eyes are not always the same color. Some dogs can even have two different colored eyes, like my old boxer, Bruno. Secondly, dogs used to have dichromatic vision like they do now, but somewhere down the road in their evolution, they developed another cone, which allowed them to see yellow. And scientists believe that this happened between 6 and 15 million years ago. They think this happened because dogs were scavengers, and they needed to be able to see the color of rotting meat, which is usually yellow. And speaking of millions of years, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And if you're wondering what colors you should use to decorate for your dog this year, it's blue, yellow, navy, and gold. Now that you know how your dog sees the world, it's time to put it to the test. Try putting some blue and yellow decorations up or buying them a blue or yellow toy. Let us know how it goes in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and remember to follow for more. And until next time, sniff, sniff. Hey, are you still wondering how your dog sees the world? Well, you can actually see the world through your dog's eyes by clicking here. I'll see you over there.